Well. Arsenal 2, Wolves 2. That is another two massive points dropped. Man City have had the greatest week ever, and they haven't even played in the league in the last week. This is the best thing that has happened to Man City's season. These two draws from Arsenal against Brentford and against Wolves. Going forward, they really don't look at it, Arsenal. They don't. And people have been saying that this isn't a problem. It clearly is a problem. Arsenal had multiple opportunities to kill this game. They should have killed this game much earlier. In the first half, in fact, they should have killed this game. Defensively, they didn't even look at risk, to be honest. I mean, if we look at the numbers, Wolves had 2 shots on target. Let's see how many shots was it in total. Not many. 5 shots in total. 2 shots on target. 1 big chance. 0.3 xg against Arsenal's 10 shots, 4 shots on target, 1.8 xg. Arsenal have to kill these games. It's not like Wolves are this juggernaut of a team. Yes, they're much better than they were earlier in the season. They are much better defensively, but they're also much better going forward. Players like Mane, players like Arrochadore actually looks okay now. Players like Adam Armstrong, he's come in and made the team look a bit better. In general, they are just a better team now than they were earlier in the season. But these are games that Arsenal have to get wrapped up. They have to win these games. And it is their front three that is the problem. Their defence isn't really a big problem here. The numbers show that. It's not that, 2 goals conceded isn't good against Wolves, but they didn't concede loads of chances. They didn't look in danger of conceding goals apart from the 2 that were conceded. I know that doesn't sound great, but they really didn't concede bulk chances or anything like that. The 2 midfielders, Zubimendi and Rice, good game from them. The back 4, I think, played well. There weren't chances. A mix-up at the end between Raya and Gabriel, it really wasn't great at all. But it's the front 3 that is a problem. Or not even all of the front 3. Gyökeres. How can people still be defending Gyökeres? He is not a good striker. There was times when his game should have shown here. Rice put him through and he had space to run into. This is what he was meant to be good at from last season. That ball that Rice played through, he did nothing with it. He just tried to cross it in and hit the defender. The ball is gone. The ball is dead. That should be his bread and butter. That should be exactly what he is here for. All he can actually do is pin a defender. And then he loses the ball pretty much every time he does that. Sometimes he pins a defender when the ball's not even near him, completely pointlessly. All he can do is that. I think that Arsenal fans didn't realise what they had in Kai Havertz. They need Havertz back ASAP. And they didn't realise what they had last season. Don't get me wrong, Havertz has his flaws. Of course he does. But he is 10 times better than Gyökeres. And we can't even carry on with this gimmick anymore of, Gyökeres, when he's on the pitch, when he starts, Arsenal win. That hasn't happened in the last few games. So you can't even carry on with that gimmick. But it's not just Gyökeres that is the problem here. These left wingers, what has happened to Gabriel Martinelli? When did he become such a boring winger? He is the most predictable winger you will ever see. When he first came onto the scene, however many years ago, he looked so electric, he looked so dangerous. I remember the goal against Chelsea, for example, where he ran pretty much the length of the pitch. Yes, he wasn't really contested for that goal, but it was exciting. Even on the wing, what we saw was exciting. Now he is so boring. It's like his game has been coached out of him. Like a few years ago, what we were saying about Jack Grealish, that Pep has kind of coached the excitement out of his game, although he was still effective, so that doesn't really count either. Martinelli, he gets the ball, he'll either definitely cut back and pass to Rice or Hincapié, or he'll try to win a foul somehow. Sometimes he wins the foul, a lot of the time he doesn't win the foul. But that is all he's got about him. He should be this tricky Brazilian winger that will beat a man, that will shift the ball quickly. But he just isn't that. This left wing area for Arsenal is so weak because Trossard, yes, he started the season quite well. Not that well. I think Arsenal fans got a bit ahead of themselves with that one. But Trossard just isn't good enough either. He really isn't. Again, he's not somebody who's going to get the ball and just make something out of nothing. Like Madueke, the other side. Madueke was fantastic when he was on the pitch. Everything dangerous went through him or sometimes Saka, but mainly Madueke. It all came from that right-hand side. He gets the ball, he'll put his foot on the ball, and then actually make something happen. He'll get past his man, he'll jink left or right, and actually create something, create some space. Even if that's then just to pass the ball, it still creates a bit of urgency and a bit of panic from the Wolves defence, which you didn't see any time the ball went down the left. Arsenal seriously have a problem with their left wingers. They need somebody in that position. Maybe a Somerville who can actually just make something happen out of nothing. When he gets the ball, he will take on a winger. Maybe even someone like a Rafa Leao. I don't know who it is, but they need someone that is better than Trossard and better than Martinelli, because neither of those guys are good enough. They are the two main problems, the striker area and the left wing area. They are kind of the only problems, I'd say. I do kind of like Saka in this more of a number 10 role, or this more central role. I do think he can have a bigger impact on games there, and it makes sense because Madueke needs to play at this point. He looks so dangerous every time he does play. So Saka, fitting him in that number 10 role, I do quite like it. It was really good for his goal, to be honest. I thought that having him in that central role really helped when he was on the pitch. But I don't know why Madueke was taken off. Madueke needed to stay on the pitch for Arsenal, in my opinion, because Arteta should know by now that he can't, or this Arsenal team doesn't close out games very well. We've seen it in the last few weeks. They need to go and get that third goal, which they're not getting at the moment, and they need Madueke on the pitch to go and get that third goal. So I don't think Madueke should have come off the pitch. I don't think Gyökeres is good enough. Gabriel Jesus, when he came on, he actually wasn't great either. And then Trossard, Martinelli are such a problem. When they were both on the pitch at the same time, we've not really seen that this season much at all, because it's been one or the other, and then Saka, Madueke on the right. But when they were on the pitch at the same time, Martinelli on the right and Trossard on the left, it was a dire watch. It really was terrible. I thought it actually might help Martinelli going onto the right, because obviously when he gets the ball on the left, he can only do so much. He's not left-footed, so he can kind of only cut in or pass the ball back or do something like that. I thought it might help him a little bit, where he could actually go by his man down the line and put a ball in potentially, but it didn't help him at all. He was just as bad. And then Trossard at the end, maybe he is injured because he did go off. I'm still not as convinced on that. I'm not sure that he actually needed to go off. I think he was playing for time there, and I really don't like that. I didn't like what he was doing there. If he is actually injured and it was something quite bad, then fair enough, I'm wrong, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it was, and I think that he was just playing for time, and it was completely unnecessary. In that respect, I'm actually glad that Wolves went and got an equaliser here, because if that was just play acting from Trossard, then that's really poor. He didn't even have an impact on the game at all. But Arsenal defensively are still solid. This is what will be so frustrating as an Arsenal fan to watch this, is that they didn't give up chances today. No chances were given up apart from the two shots. And the first one wasn't even a chance. It was a very good goal from Bueno. Very good strike on his left foot, cutting in from the right. But again, that's something that you don't see from these Arsenal guys. We need to see it. You see it from Madueke. You don't see it from this left-hand side. And it is such a problem for this Arsenal team. But that is 2 massive points dropped for Arsenal. Man City will be buzzing about this. Absolutely buzzing. And now, this North London derby on Sunday looks even bigger for Arsenal. They're going to have a lot of work to do. But lots more like these coming, so make sure you hit subscribe. But that is all for this one. I will see you guys in the next one.